wish we could share the pain of both, because those who were shot unarmed did nothing to be killed. The police who were shot unarmed did nothing to be killed. There must be some common commitment to stop the killing. I think that for a season, from Trayvon Martin to Michael Brown to Diallo, these blacks been killed by police. And the killing of police by people, by two veterans, I might add, is a recent thing. But I hope that can be an appreciation of the pain and unnecessary loss of both sides.
Do you think that they should have them speak? Do you think they should have had someone from the families that have just recently had the most recent shootings in Dallas?
They may make that adjustment. I hope that they will.
Thank you. All right, David Knight for INFOWARS.com. That was Jesse Jackson here on the floor of the Democrat National Convention. We're here at the convention, and I'm talking to a Bernie delegate. Your name is, sir?
I'm Charles Powell from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, I see you're a Bernie delegate. I also see you're against the TPP. Tell me how you feel about how the convention's proceeding so far.
Well, I don't like it that they didn't recommend that the TPP not be voted on before the next election. We think that the lame duck Congress should not vote on the TPP, and to give the new Congress a chance to think it over. So we're disappointed that it doesn't look like it's going to go that way, but they didn't allow the minority report on the TPP, and we're still hoping that we can at least force them to hear the minority report.
Do you think there's any interest in hearing opposition to TPP based on Hillary Clinton's vice presidential pick of Kaine, who is very supportive of it and all the trade agreements?
Well, she has, indicated that she thinks that we should be cautious about the TPP. And of course, Bernie was strongly against the TPP. And so there are both Bernie delegates and Hillary delegates that are opposed to TPP. So hopefully we, as a group, a unified group, can do something about stopping TPP.
Well, we see Wall Street Journal and other sources rejoicing that Hillary Clinton has picked Kaine as her vice president because he is so in it. Of course, she had supported it before she opposed it, and now, at least Wall Street believes that it's a done deal.
Well, it certainly doesn't look good, so it's reason for concern. But I haven't given up yet. I still have high hopes, and there are others that feel that way. And we think if we can at least force the minority report to be heard.
We're here just outside the convention floor as the delegates are about to go in. We're going to be starting in about 45 minutes. And we had a delegate come over to us, saw our equipment, and he was a Bernie supporter. He was very upset about what's going on. We asked him to speak to us on record. He said, well, tomorrow or after we do the roll call vote, I'll talk to you about it. He doesn't want to get thrown off the floor before the roll call vote. But we're going to have a lot of people talking to us, I'm sure, because they're very upset about this. You have to understand, this is not simply about Bernie Sanders, just like 2012 wasn't about how the Republicans defrauded Ron Paul. Ultimately, it's about the system itself. Are we going to have a corrupt system? It looks like the delegates here and the Democrat convention are fine with keeping the superdelegate system that was so rigged. Remember, she started out with 15% of the votes that she needed to win. And then another way of looking at that is that if you go state by state, in every one of the states, she had about 10 to 15% of the delegates as superdelegates already on her side. Each of those states were proportionately allocated. So that meant that for Bernie to even break even on delegates, he had to beat her by 10 to 15%. And he couldn't get ahead of her unless he got ahead of that 10 or 15% threshold. That's what we continually saw. That's why state by state, you would look at it and say, well, wait a minute. He beat her by a pretty good margin here, 7, 8, 10%, but she got the same number of delegates or more in most cases, the states where he won. They do not want to change that system. As they have deposed Debbie Wasserman Schultz, or as we call her, Debbie Wasserman Schill, they've moved her out. First it was just going to be she wasn't going to speak. Then they said she's going to be resigning altogether. But now they're talking about the fact she's going to open the convention and close the convention. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. and see what the crowd reaction is to it. And of course, as we pointed out, we were on with Alex Jones earlier, the rebellion that they were expecting, that they tried to play up at the GOP, never really happened. But there truly is a grassroots rebellion outside the convention here. It remains to be seen if that's going to bleed on into the convention with the delegates. But based on the person that we talked to, it looks like that may very well be the case. And we'll be talking to a lot of them after the roll call vote, I'm sure. For InfoWars.com, I'm David Knight.
The Hillary Clinton campaign, they really need those Bernie Sanders supporters to get on board if she's going to win the presidential race. Remember, Leah Daughtry, the CEO of this convention, is now getting ready to speak. She's walking up to the microphone.
David Knight from InfoWars.com, and we're talking to
Brian Ertz, Idaho.
All right, I see this Stop the TPP on here. Tell people why you're opposed to the TPP.
I'm opposed to corporate sovereignty of 40% of the world's economy. I think that people and democratic processes should be able to regulate industry in ways for the public interest. And what TPP does is it removes government and democratic processes from the ability to regulate industry when it comes to globalized markets.
In a word, what it does is remove our sovereignty, right? Absolutely. What it does, it takes the governance of our economy out of our hands and hands it over to people, many of whom never maybe even been to our country, right?
They haven't been to our country. They don't represent us. They represent corporate interests. And there are a lot of fundamental problems with TPP. And yeah.
So tell me, are you a delegate here at this convention?
No, I'm a member of the Rules Committee. So I deliberated last Saturday.
Okay. And how do you feel about the fact that Kaine has been picked as a VP on this because he's supported all these trade deals?
It's a kick in the teeth to the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.
Do you believe Hillary Clinton when she said, first she came out in support of these, then she said she was against them, then she picked Tim Kaine? Where do you think she stands on this?
I have no doubt that Hillary Clinton, at the most, may rebrand TPP, but I believe she's in support of TPP. Absolutely.
And of course, it's not just TPP. Of course, we have the TTIP, and there's anything that's coming up down the road because of the Trade Promotion Authority, which Kaine was an ardent supporter of, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. But you're not a delegate, so. But thank you for talking to us.
We made the rules. We tried to give them every avenue to get TPP back on the floor. They shut us down.
Oh, I have another question for you. Sure. All right, you're on the Rules Committee. What about the superdelegates? Did they do anything to change that? Oh, I saw that was shut down as well. Any efforts to try to reform that?
It was shut down several times. The committee was for the cameras. The decision was made before the committee even convened, and basically both campaigns made the decision, asked us to ratify the decision. It's a commission. It's unenforceable. It's an advisory commission. So basically it's going to ask the superdelegates to remove their own power eventually, sometime down the road. The Sanders campaign characterized it as having teeth and being substantive. The language says otherwise.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. David Knight from InfoWars.com, and of course, you can see that the fix is in. As he pointed out, it was simply for the cameras. They had already decided what they were going to put in there. It was a show meeting for the Rules Committee. David Knight from InfoWars.com.